Hi everyone, it's Melody with Design by Melody here with the second part of my September 2013 album. Here are just a couple preview shots. It took me 53 minutes to complete this Project Life page. I'm going to start with this one pattern paper. It's one of my favorite ones. It's red with kind of some chevron lines going through it, and it's got a little bit of distressing as well. I just love the way that looks. And I really wanted to use it in a 12 by 12 layout, but I just couldn't, I don't know, I couldn't come up with the right combination of photos, so I'm going to actually use it for this one instead. I've already got my photos cut out and printed, or printed and cut out rather, I should say. I order my photos from Snapfish, so if you are looking for a good place to order photos from that ships to your house, Snapfish always has great coupon codes, very affordable. I usually order them about 100 or so at a time, and I don't ever spend more than like $5 max on them. I always use a coupon code, especially if you order like around a holiday like let's say Mother's Day or Valentine's Day. They always have free expedited shipping, so I ordered, I think the last time, about 200 photos. I think I spent maybe $5 or $6 and I got free shipping as well, and it was like 2 day shipping, so for me that's a huge plus to get that. So I've just trimmed out a couple cards here to use for my 3x4 row in the middle. I always use the same style of page protector when I'm doing my monthly layouts. Sometimes the inserts I use different ones, but for the monthly layouts I always use, I believe it's Design A. It's just the four 4x6, two on top, two on bottom, and then the four 3x4 cards running through the middle. And then I always do my 4x6 cards on white as the background, and then I vary the colors on the middle. It's just my style. I've kind of stuck with this most of the 2013 album, and I probably will continue. I just like the clean look of the white, but I like the pop of color in the middle. It just helps. For some reason, I don't know, I love it when other people do a whole bunch of different colors, but for me it just looks too busy, and I don't know why I can't get over that. So I've got this pocket. I believe it's a My Mind's Eye pocket, and I'm going to cut it apart and use the tab. You're going to see me struggle with this a little bit. I spend a lot of time on this card, and then I rip the paper, and then I end up covering it with other stuff. So stick with me here, but it's going to end up looking pretty good in the end. I'm going for craft and red on this layout, and then I'm going to use some of this ledger paper to do a bit of journaling. I will have still shots of everything at the end, of course, so stay tuned there. These are just some photos throughout the month. This is the month that he started preschool for the very first time. So the very beginning, the part one of my of this section in my scrapbook was dedicated to his first day of school. And then Ernest's birthday is also September 5th, so pretty early in the month. And we don't have a lot of photos from this month, oddly enough. I believe these are all the photos from the entire month. I went through my phone, I went through my iPhoto and everything, and I believe all these photos that you see are everything that I got that month. I'm surprised. I don't know why I didn't take more photos, especially since it was his first year of preschool. I mean, you would think that I would have a ton, but I just don't. I do have some memorabilia that I'm going to be adding. I'll have a process video for that up next week probably, and I go through adding a couple things from his preschool just to help us remember, what, different things, who his teachers were, what their schedule was during school and all that. So I'll be adding that in, I believe, next week. So keep an eye out for that process video. The photos that you're seeing here are the ones of Kaylin are just throughout the month. There's no real rhyme or reason, nothing special going on. It was just funny pigtails. Ernest put pigtails on him, which I thought was the funniest thing because we already get a lot of comments about how he looked like a girl with all his hair. So the pigtails made it look even worse. And then on the top right, you can only see half the photo, but this is actually that year for Ernest's birthday. I did a scavenger hunt. We're not real big on birthdays for each other. I mean, we celebrate our birthdays, but we end up not really buying each other much just because we buy what we want as we want it. So we're not real big on buying each other gifts. We probably should, but we just have a difficult time figuring out what to get each other. So I decided this year I was going to do, or that year in 2013, that I was going to do a scavenger hunt. And so I made a whole bunch of different clue cards for him and had different things hidden with the clues. Like one of them, for instance, under the bathroom sink, I had hidden a clue with a bunch of balloons, and then I believe it ended up being a magazine subscription or something was the gift with that one. So each clue had I think every other clue had a gift with it, and I think there were 10 clues or something like that. And then the last one had the birthday card I actually made him. So I thought that was fun. I might do that, in a couple years again. I thought it was hilarious. He had a difficult time figuring out the clues, and writing the clues was pretty hard actually, but I had fun with it. I thought it was funny. And then of course making the cards is just fun too. So I took a couple pictures of those cards. I didn't take pictures of all of them, or I didn't include pictures of all of them, but I did include some of them. And I ran out of tape runner, and of course I didn't have any refills, and I didn't want to stop this layout because I was already on a roll. So I just pulled out my double-sided tape, and I'm going to use that and some liquid glue throughout the rest of this layout. So I don't really like how this top right card came out, but I'm going to leave it. I used some gold washi tape kind of to back that picture since it wasn't a full 4x6. It was, I don't know what it actually ends up being, but it's more like 3x5 maybe, something like that. I don't know. But I just didn't like it. It wasn't quite wide enough. It was tall enough for the card, but it wasn't quite wide enough. But whatever, it works. It's just got a little bit of gold on it, which goes with the craft, so... It's just not my favorite, but sometimes we get those that are just not our favorite. I'm using a couple different stickers. The one on the tabbed card says, I heart your heart, and then I have just a border one I'm going to put at the bottom of this card. Just adds a little bit more of that red pink color to this card as well, instead of it just being the craft. I don't embellish the photos a whole lot when they're the full 3x4, but I do a little bit. And Kaylin looks so little in these pictures. I'm like, I can't get over it. I say this as he's, 4.5 now. And these pictures, he was not even 3 quite yet. So, it's just funny watching these. But anyways, I'm going to add a few more stickers. This one's actually going to say, I believe it says, it says genuine product, which again is another kind of funny. I don't know. I get a kick out of these. And, as people look through my album, they may not totally get it. But as I make them, I think they're funny. Just adding a label here. I'm going to make it a filler card. These are some more of these labels that I have in my stash. I believe those are actually from Simple Stories. And this top left card, you're going to see it evolve over time. So I think I'm going to put a pocket on that top left card and then have a tag, and then you're going to see it change. It's going to evolve with us. Just looking through a bunch of the things, I think I pulled out too much when I was making this layout, which made it a little bit more difficult. I don't know if y'all have that problem, but if I have too much on hand, too much to pull from, then I get confused. I overthink it. Whereas if I just have a few things, I make what I have work, which is probably what I should do more often. I just used the back of a 4x6 card and trimmed off the edge so it would still have a white border on this top left card. I like the red and the blue and white, stripe. I thought it complemented the red and the craft color of this layout. And then I'm going to take some of these tags and I'm just going to layer them up a bit. And then I have some stamping that I'm going to do. This is a Heidi Swap stamp, and I got it on clearance at Michael's, and I use it all the time. It's one of my most used stamp sets in Project Life. I think because it has some pretty small sentiments that work, that are pretty usable. This says, has my heart, and it has an arrow. Oh, and you can see Kaylin, he likes to see himself on camera when I'm filming, so he's got his little, drumstick thing. He's just showing you guys, in case you're interested in what he's doing. And since the arrow on that card it was pointing off the page, I just reversed where these cards are going to be in the pocket. That way it would be pointing to something instead of off of the page. And then again, I'm looking through, I pulled out so much stuff, and you're going to see every bit of it here as I flip through. And these are some cards that I have. I believe they were a cut apart sheet of paper. I think, maybe not. Actually, no, it came in a little embellishment kit that had 4x6, 4x4, 3x4 cards, and then it had a whole bunch of little die cuts as well. So I'm going to cut this one down so it'll fit. And then it says, we may not look like we have it all together, but together we have it all. And that truly is how I feel about my family. Sometimes we're crazy. I'm sure people think we're nuts sometimes, but we're a happy little family, and we just enjoy our time with each other, whether it's making Kaylin look funny with some pigtails and laughing at him because he looks like a girl, or you know, just enjoying running around and acting crazy, or, you know, whatever it is, we enjoy ourselves. And, you know, that's what it's all about, is enjoying your family and being happy and content with what you got. So, you know, I guess it's a little bit deeper than I meant to get, but you get the gist of it. And I'm just going to add some twine to actually, I took the twine that was already on that tag and I cut it to make it smaller so it wouldn't hang out of my pocket. And then I'm just adding a bit of glue behind it to keep it in place. And then I'm going to use the excess twine that I cut off of that tag and add it to the other one. I don't really have a problem adding tags without the twine in them, but for some reason I wanted to on this one. It just adds a little bit more. I don't have a lot of dimension going on. A lot of stuff here on these cards are flat, and I kind of like that because I don't like my project life to be too bulky, but I do like having different textures here and there. I'm going back to that stamping I did. I actually did it, and I believe it's called Rich Cocoa. Stays on ink. I believe it's Rich Cocoa. I have black as well, but I just thought since I was using craft, I might as well use some brown ink as well. We're getting near the end here. I will have some still shots at the very end, of course, for you to look at. If you like this video, please subscribe and hit the like button. I would appreciate it. And leave comments of things that you like or you would like to see, and I'll definitely try to incorporate them. I've mentioned many times before that I have this little heart punch, and I keep a lot of punched out hearts in a little container, and I just add them throughout my album. Hearts and stars. I have two little punches. I believe they are both from the Dollar Spot at Target. No, Dollar Spot at Michael's. And I just use a lot of my scrap paper to punch those and just have them. So I have all different colors stuck in this little container. It's just a great way for me to add a little something when I'm not sure what I want to do. And then I'm using another piece of scrap just to add some black. What's really, technically I think it's called pewter. It's an embossed basil cardstock, and I had used a heart that was cut from that, so I'm just adding a bit of it to that top left card just to add a little bit of that color. And then I'm using another one of those little hearts punched from that same scrap paper here on this one. To me, the hearts just add a little bit something extra, and I mean, I don't know, they're just little hearts. They don't really add much meaning to the card, but they fill up a little bit, and I like the way that they look. I'm trying to use the rest of these twine and ink puffy stickers, but they're funny looking to me. I don't know what it is. They're like these little leaf shaped things. I'm sure there's a technical name for them, but I don't know what it is. So they're like these little leaf shaped things, and I add them. You can see there it's on that clue picture. I add them periodically throughout, and eventually I'll finish them up. I like the colors of them. I think the shapes are funny because I've already used up most of the circles because it came with these little leaf shaped things and then the circles. So if anybody knows what those are, tell me, because I'll just call them leaf-shaped things. I know there's a name for it though. So I'm going to mat these last two photos on the bottom. Let's see, the bottom right. I'm going to mat them on another piece of that red paper. I'm just going to use it just to pull in the same color here on the bottom. As soon as this video is over, I like run to the store. As soon as I finish recording this, I run to the store. We had somewhere else to go, and I told Ernest, no, I have to go to the store. I have to get more tape. It was like do or die. I had to have it. And so now I think I've bought like 5 or 6 different tape runners. So I have different ones on hand. I keep all the containers just in case I find one on sale somewhere. So I have if I find the refills on sale somewhere, I have the tape runner, the container already. So I'm going to use some of this, more of that pewter colored embossed basil paper, and I'm just piecing it together because I have a full sheet, but I have a ton of scraps, so I wanted to kind of use them up. So I'm just going to piece it together, and I'm going to use it as a photo mat on this bottom card again, just like I did on the other one, but I did the other one in red. It's just going to pull in some of those colors, again, the same colors. And I used the remaining piece of that border strip that I used on that 3x4 card on the top right of this photo. This is just Kaylin in the car. That's why the photos are so dark, but it's got him peeking through the seats. I'm just rearranging here because I wanted to make sure it seemed balanced, and it seemed like with the 4 photos on the bottom, it was too heavy, especially since they're darker photos. So I just switched them around so that clue card is now down at the bottom, and you can see those funny leaf shapes. See right there? I don't know what it is. They're just funny to me. So I used up some more of the little circles here. And I'm going to continue using them throughout, and then I take off some of them because I think they look too much. But either way, I'm going to flip through here, look and see if there's anything else I want to add. I just have a few small minor touches that I want to add. So there's a little bit more color here on the bottom. And I think that is it. All right, here are the still photos. Again, like I said, let me know what you think. Like and subscribe if you would, please. And thanks for watching. Bye.